Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Larsa Pippen says allergic reaction caused shocking facial change. Stop the presses. Larsa Pippen is shutting down those rumors about her face. The Real Housewives of Miami star got a lot of attention last week after appearing on Goodnight NYC, sporting a puffy face that looked filled to the brim with fresh filler. According to Larsa, that wasn't necessarily the case. Larsa set the record straight about her new cosmetic work after a woman named Dr. Mai Kaga uploaded a video addressing that RHOM star's changed appearance. She said Larsa got some bad filler and perhaps a questionable injector. From excessive facial filler to questionable surgery choices, her transformation is a reminder that not all cosmetic work is good work, Dr. Kai wrote. That post gained traction, which eventually sparked a response from Larsa. She chimed in, claiming that what we're seeing in these new photos is actually an allergic reaction. Larsa wrote, "Honey, I had PRP and had an allergic reaction, so chill out." PRP is short for platelet-rich plasma. It's a procedure where doctors suck out your blood, concentrate the platelets, and then inject them back into an area. Experts claim it can help tissue regeneration, and thus, some use it as an anti-aging treatment. In a follow-up Instagram story, Larsa said she felt like the swelling from her allergic reaction was starting to subside. Meanwhile, Dr. Kai shared another post on her Instagram, casting doubt on the allergy excuse. "Allergic reactions to PRP are extremely rare," she wrote. "You simply will not find allergies to your own blood cells all that common. Second, allergic reactions don't last 3 seasons on a streaming network." Of course, Dr. Kai wasn't the only person sharing some skepticism about Larsa's allergy story. Dozens of RHON fans continue to comment on Larsa's appearance. Either way, Larsa doesn't seem bothered by the feedback. She'll probably be back at her doctor's office by the end of the week. The Real Housewives of Miami airs Wednesdays at 9/8 on Bravo. Stream it on Hulu in the UK and Ireland. The sunlit terrace of a Miami restaurant should have been the perfect backdrop for Larsa Pippen's late afternoon lunch with friends. Palm trees swaying, ocean breeze curling through her hair, and the faint hum of conversation from nearby tables. But on that day, nothing about the moment felt ordinary. Passers-by stopped mid-stride, cell phones lifted. Whispered phrases darted through the crowd like startled birds. Is that Larsa? For many, the Real Housewives of Miami star had long been the epitome of glamour. Sleek hair, sharp style, and an Instagram feed that looked more like a fashion editorial than real life. But now there was a visible difference. Her cheeks were subtly puffed, her skin flushed in certain spots, her jawline softer than before. And as the candid photos made their way to social media, speculation ignited. By that evening, hashtags were trending. Hashtag Larsa Pippen face, and hashtag what happened to Larsa. Fans, critics, and curious onlookers fired off theories. Bad filler? A botched cosmetic procedure? Overuse of filters that didn't match reality. But the truth, according to Larsa herself, was far stranger and more unexpected. "I had an allergic reaction," she explained in a late-night Instagram live, sitting cross-legged on a cream-colored sofa in her Miami condo. Her hair was pulled back in a casual bun, her usual glam makeup replaced by a light dusting of concealer. "It wasn't planned. It wasn't anything I could control. My face literally changed overnight. The day it happened." Larsa recounted the morning everything went wrong. She had woken up with what she thought was mild swelling around her lips. Not unusual for someone who travels often and changes climates frequently. But by midday, the swelling spread to her cheeks, her eyelids felt tight, and the skin around her mouth prickled with heat. "It was like my reflection didn't belong to me," she said. "I'm used to contouring my face, enhancing certain angles. But this wasn't makeup. This was like my face had been hijacked." She visited her dermatologist immediately, who suspected an allergic reaction but couldn't yet pinpoint the cause. "We went through everything I'd eaten, every product I'd used, every place I'd been in the last 48 hours, Larsa explained. It could have been anything: seafood, pollen, even a new detergent in the hotel towels when I was in New York last week. The world of reality television thrives on transformation, sometimes by choice, sometimes by accident. But even by Real Housewives standards, what happened to Larsa Pippen over one unforgettable weekend in Miami sent shockwaves through fans, friends, and the internet at large. It began innocently enough. Friday morning, Larsa was scheduled for a casual lunch meeting at a waterside restaurant, the kind where the rosy is perpetually chilled and the gossip flows even faster than the tide. She wore oversized sunglasses, a wide-brimmed hat, and a casual linen jumpsuit, a far cry from the high glam ensembles fans were used to seeing on The Real Housewives of Miami. "I just wanted a quiet day," Larsa later told an entertainment reporter, her voice tinged with both disbelief and humor. "I had no idea my life was about to turn into a meme before sunset." The culprit, according to Larsa, was a plate of ceviche, specifically one loaded with fresh citrus and exotic garnishes, a combination that had never bothered her before. But that afternoon, something in the mix triggered a chain reaction. "It started as a tingling sensation in my lips," she explained, "and I thought, great, maybe I overdid it on the lip liner. But by the time I got back to my car, my reflection in the rear-view mirror looked like I'd just had the world's fastest and most aggressive round of filler injections." By evening, the swelling had spread across her cheeks and eyes, giving her a face that looked more like a Snapchat filter than reality. Larsa did what any self-respecting public figure would do in such a moment. She called her dermatologist in a panic. "He told me, 'You're having an allergic reaction. You need antihistamines immediately.' But of course, by then, paparazzi had already gotten a shot of me walking into the pharmacy. Those photos hit the internet before midnight. And by morning, hashtags like hashtag Larsa Pippen face and hashtag jump scare selfie were trending on Twitter. Some fans were convinced she'd undergone secret surgery. Others spun elaborate conspiracy theories involving botched beauty treatments, high-tech skin experiments, and even an undercover alien transformation. "It was wild," Larsa said, shaking her head. "I woke up to thousands of DMs from people telling me I didn't need to keep lying, that they knew I'd had work done overnight. Overnight, as if that's even possible." Still, she knew the truth was stranger, and perhaps more embarrassing, than the rumors. Allergic reactions, she explained, can strike without warning, even after years of safely eating certain foods. The ceviche, she suspected, had been prepared with a rare tropical fruit extract she'd never encountered before. By the time the Real Housewives of Miami cameras picked up filming 2 days later, Larsa's face had mostly returned to normal, but not without leaving behind a few swollen day selfies that fans would not soon forget. In a particularly candid confessional film that week, she addressed the elephant in the room. "Yes, I looked different," she admitted, smirking slightly. "But it wasn't fillers, it wasn't surgery. It was Mother Nature and maybe a little too much lime juice. Honestly, I wish I could take credit for the drama, but this one wasn't planned." Her castmates, however, weren't about to let the incident pass quietly. Gertie teased her relentlessly, saying the swelling gave her luxury pillow energy. Lisa Hochstein admitted she thought Larsa's look was kind of iconic. Julia Lemegova even brought her a gift basket full of antihistamines, cucumber eye masks, and the note reading, in case the ceviche strikes again. But beyond the laughter, there was a more vulnerable side to the ordeal. Larsa confessed that waking up to see her face so dramatically altered, even temporarily, had been unsettling. "When you're in the public eye, your face isn't just yours anymore," she reflected. "It belongs to the camera, the audience, the internet. People think they have a right to comment on every angle, every shadow. And when something changes suddenly, it's like the world forgets you're still just you." That honesty resonated with many fans. For days, her Instagram comments were flooded with stories from people who'd had similar allergic scares: swollen lips after a bee sting, Eyes puffed shut from new skincare products, mysterious hives after sushi. One follower wrote, "Girl, I once lived like a balloon animal for 3 days after eating shrimp. I feel you." Another admitted she'd stopped eating shellfish entirely after a reaction left her unrecognizable in her wedding photos. It was this wave of empathy that convinced Larsa to speak more openly about the incident during a podcast interview the following week. "I could have just let the rumors run wild," she said. "But I think it's important for people to understand how unpredictable our bodies can be. I mean, we live in an age where everyone's obsessed with changing their looks."